To another exciting edition of Comics Just Smell Good from Zanadu Comics in Seattle. I wonder what special week, new comic book day it is. I think it might be Marvel Legacy. You've been hearing about it. It's the long-awaited Marvel Legacy Gigantic. I'll be talking about that a little bit later, but it's a huge week, not just for Marvel Legacy, but for a lot of awesome comic books from all the publishers. And let's kick it off with Casey with the first pick.
I have some high-eye, in-your-face, high-kicking kung fu from Aftershock. We got Jai Nitz, Wesley St. Clair, another new #1 from Aftershock, relatively new publisher. They've got some good talent for them, doing some different type of things. And this is cool, like, kind of child reborn as super badass kung fu man, mix in robots and strange women who are very devious looking, of course, because you need the femme fatale. But the art in this is kind of cool. It's fun and loose. Kind of reminds me of some of the all-ages boombox stuff. But yeah, a lot of the Aftershock books have been getting option for movies and stuff like that as it comes out. And this may very well be the next hit kung fu movie.
Go for it.
Okay, well, from Image, we have the 4th trade paperback of Sex Criminals. The title is 4G. That's all.
I don't know how I follow that up, but I'm going to.
Right.
So it takes something as big as Marvel Legacy. Yes, #1 is finally here. This is a big one-shot by Jason Aaron and Esad Ribic. The team of Mighty Thor have, Thor God of Thunder. They're back together again. This is the big one-shot that sets everything up. It's all the new storylines. It's the aftermath of Secret Empire. All new stuff. Where there's going to be new comics, a lot of classic characters are returning. You may have already heard, they've already said like the original adult Jean Grey is coming back. This has got your prehistoric Avengers. Yes, there were prehistoric Avengers way back. And sets up everything you need to know for what's coming up in the Marvel Legacy. We're on big storylines. A lot of our books are going to their original numbering and a lot of classic storylines. So we're looking possibly for some more resurrections in this book. I'm halfway through it and the art is amazing and we're really intrigued to see where they're going with this. So Marvel Legacy, big #1, we got lots of different covers, but this is the one that kind of starts it off. Once again, as you kind of previewed before, we actually have a whole Marvel Legacy preview video. Which is it's a great jumping on point. But if you're like a old school Marvel nerd like me, there's a lot of homages to the past. So Marvel Legacy 1, Jason Aaron, and Jason We Trust. Hey, and if you're also a Marvel fan, something free for you. This is Foom, there it is. This is the return of an old school. This is Friends of Marvel.
Old Marvel.
Friends of Old Marvel, which I'm an old Marvel fan, so it kind of fits me really good. But they used to put this out. This is just a cool preview of everything coming up. Also helps you set the stage with all the books that are coming out, the renumbering, and the #1s, and all the other cool stuff coming out. Plus, it teases the the Return of the Phoenix, which I told you about earlier.
So yeah, and as Will said, there's like 8 or 9 covers or more for Marvel Legacy. We've got a whole ton of them, and the Fooms will be given out to free with purchase, and the Marvel Legacy video is up for anybody who wants to delve deeper. And I'm going to hop companies here to DC Comics and bring you the 9th issue of the Commandy Challenge, which is the only Kirby 100 thing that is still running. This has been a really fun book and different creative team each month, and this one sees Tom King of current Batman and Mr. Miracle fame teaming up with the Turtles co-creator Kevin Eastman and Freddie Williams II to bring you a very special black and white issue, which is a really cool thing. I really dig that Eastman probably pushed for the black and white, I'm not sure. But the vast majority of Eastman's stuff is in black and white and really succeeds in using the light and the shadows to kind of accentuate and bring more than sometimes even color can. And of course there's like an Elephant Man in here and like a Future Toy type of thing from Turtles, Weird Monkey Men, but all sorts of fun stuff. This has been a great book, and I'm excited for another issue of the ride.
And I've got a DC book here as well. This is Action Comics number 988, part 2 of the Oz Effect, with, of course, a shiny lenticular cover. And you better get used to those things, because that's all you're going to be seeing for the next, like, 3 months.
It's like 3D movies. One worked, and then all of a sudden there's just a whole crap load.
Right? This is written by Dan Jurgens, regular writer for Action Comics, and drawn as a special issue for the origin of Mr. Oz, aka Jor-El, because we all know that by now, right? Okay, yeah, he's Superman's dad.
Yeah. The real Superman's dad.
Yeah.
The original Earth 1, right? Or is there more?
I mean, they're the same Superman now because they got split up before, and now they're back to.
Yeah.
Man,
I don't know.
Man,
forget I said anything.
You read Superman Reborn, right? You should know this.
I know.
The point is, we're finally finding out why Jor-El has been messing with Superman's life this whole time. He doesn't think that the Earth is worthy of Superman, honestly. He's seen all the horrible things that people have done to each other over the years, and he's just like, man, I really shouldn't have put my kid in that rocket.
You know, that sounds suspiciously like Golden Age Superman with Superboy Prime. And
Yeah,
the Infinite
right.
Crisis stuff where they had him all there, and that's why they were really pissed off. Yeah.
Let's keep the DC fun going. This is the next chapter in the Gotham Resistance. As you know, you may have heard of a little thing called Dark Knight's Metal. You can't resist it. It is a big, awesome, epic event that has unleashed the Dark Multiverse and an army of evil Batman. And if that's not enough, they've taken all the Bat Rogues and kind of amped them up their powers. So Gotham Resistance is a big crossover between Teen Titans, Green Arrow, and of course it hits Suicide Squad this week when Poison Ivy, who's even more poisonous and venomous and powerful than ever, is going to take Harley Quinn and her crew to try to stand up against what's going on with this crazy, weird Poison Ivy. Like, you haven't seen her before. She's all metalized.
My next pick.
Welcome to the jungle.
Yeah, right. My next pick is the return of Nick Fury Jr., I guess. James Robinson and Aiko and Hugo Patris have been killing it on this book. This has been a really fantastic psychedelic sci-fi book. Very Steranko-esque. The art that Aiko does, sometimes a little static, but it actually works really well with this because it's just a whole ton of double-page spreads. And I love the idea of comics actually written for a single issue. You know, there's a caper in each one, done in one, totally it. You could start with this issue. And this is the return to Castle Ravenloft, which was one of the more badass Steranko issues that he ever did, where he kind of dropped in some of the horror elements to his espionage stuff. But this has been really, really cool, and there's also a cool Steranko homage cover by the one and only Dave Johnson.
Ooh.
I'm actually going to continue the love for the ongoing DC Rebirth mystery here with another story related to the mysterious, well, slightly less mysterious now, Mr. Oz. This is part 1 of A Lonely Place of Living in Batman Detective Comics number 965. So many issues of Detective Comics out there, my god. This chronicles the escape of Tim Drake, the third Robin, from Mr. Oz's, I'm not actually sure we know what his base is, really. It's wherever he's been imprisoning various figures from the DC Universe, Doomsday, Tim Drake, Mr. Mxyzptlk escaped from there in the aforementioned Superman Reborn story, and this sort of revisits Tim Drake's past, which in the New 52 was kind of thrown into the toilet and then flushed, and then it wouldn't go down, and then plunged a whole bunch, and then they kind of just threw the whole toilet out the window. And this is going back to his more classic post-crisis origin of being the kid who figured out Batman's identity, which I don't see why they felt the need to mess with it in the first place, but that's Scott Lobdell for you. This is written by regular Detective Comics writer James Tynion and drawn by Eddie Burrows.
Hey, let's keep the Batman love going. This is Batman, the Murder Machine. So, as I said, Dark Knight's Metal, it's the big storyline going on with Greg Capullo and Scott Snyder that kind of sets up the Dark Multiverse, and this whole army of evil Batman have been unleashed now. These are a series of one-shots. This one, and each one has something from their multiverse world, I guess you could say, that they've kind of hijacked something from a member of the Justice League. And the Murder Machine pity the poor cyborg of this ultimate Earth, other Earth, and what happens to him. How did he steal these powers? And yes, that's kind of a Batman head bulldozer. So that's, I mean, that should be enough to get you going.
Yeah, that's
but,
pretty. That might be more '90s than Batman on a jet ski.
To go with the lenticular, where Frank Cherry writes this. Once again, another one shot that's all leading to tell you about the origins of all the different evil Batman.
And we did also put up a Dark Knight's Metal video, special one as well. Not quite as long as the Marvel one, because it's not as intense. But that's up there too if you want to watch it. And my final pick, I think, is new from Titan, who has, this is the inaugural book in the Statics Press, which was just announced, which is another new batch of European comics, which is very, very cool. They are apparently going to finish Lone Sloan, I guess, for those of you who've been waiting for that canceled third volume. But this is the first one, The Beautiful Death by Mathieu Bablé, I think, how you say it. But this is a very cool post-apocalyptic, kind of street-level adventure that focuses on these kids who have survived the apocalypse, and they're basically scrounging around for food and trying not to get killed by looters, etc., etc. The art in this is gorgeous. It's got a really nice kind of color palette, and you have a very awesome cover by the one and only Mr. Brandon Graham, who has graced this very nice comic with his awesome cover. I miss Brandon Graham comics. I miss when he did comics and they came out. But this should be really exciting. This is a 4-issue mini. Big, thick issues because they were published in one big hardcover in Europe. But yeah, definitely worth checking out some new stuff.
And my last book for you here. Back to Image Comics for me with Southern Bastards number 18. Written by Jason Latour. Jason Aaron's taking a break from scripting for this one. And drawn by Chris Brunner, who, if you didn't know, drew Loose Ends with Jason Latour way back in the day, and recently again for Image Comics when they finally finished the series.
Yeah, right.
This follows a bit of the childhood of Roberta Tubb, daughter of deceased former protagonist Earl Tubb, who, if you didn't know he was dead at this point,
Spoilers,
you haven't read the
right?
series at all.
It's spoiler week for him, isn't it?
Every week is spoiler week when the internet exists.
It's true.
But either way, Roberta Tubb is back in Craw County, and it looks like finally actually doing something. So his book has a protagonist again, which is cool.
It's so weird that he just kind of has been going through different characters and spotlighting them, and
which I don't mind at all.
No,
it's
just different.
Yeah, no, it
it's
really
cool.
it gives the series a different feel than a lot of books where it's just like, okay, we're following this person up and down, up and down. It's just it really just throws you into the world and lets you live there for a bit.
Yeah, very well put.
My final pick, or picks, is Generations. This picks up, actually we just told you about Marvel Legacy before, but these kind of stories set up in the aftermath of Secret Empire, Kobik, the Cosmic Cube. It's like I'm doing it right now. She's like taking me in the vanishing point back in time before I said Marvel Legacy. So these two books, these are stories, this is probably Nick Spencer's, I guess you could say his swan song on Captain America after his long Captain America epic. This pits Steve Rogers and Sam Wilson together again one last time maybe, and kind of resolves who's Captain America. Of course, Sam Wilson's going to be back headlining a new Falcon book again, and Paul Renner does the beautiful art on it. And another one set in time is this one puts, by Brian Michael Bendis, this puts Miles Morales with Peter Parker again, but this is the Marvel Universe Peter Parker back when he was a teenager. So back in time, once again, two kind of epic stories with two characters who share the same name, and it kind of really sets the stage for what their lives and their books are going to be like in the Marvel Legacy, which, as you may have heard, let's say it one more time, hey, it's Marvel Legacy number
Marvel
1
Legacy
this week.
Day.
Plus,
So yeah.
boom, there it is. So come on in, have a great week. Zanadu Comics here in Seattle.
Thanks for watching.
See you next time.